Well, it's coming up to noon with a minute's silence being held across the UK to remember those who've died of COVID during the last year.
Silence. I want to put the microphones on.
Well, a moment's silence there as the nation marks the anniversary of the first national lockdown, pausing to remember all those who died during the pandemic. Well, Sky's Lisa Dowd is in Solihull for us, one of the places that we saw marking that moment. Lisa, one place in the UK that has marked it, but of course, these are losses that have been felt across the UK in the last 12 months, aren't they?
Yes, all of the staff came out here. They've had quite a year. They have been helping patients at the end of their lives, both with COVID and without, and they all came out to reflect what an incredible year it has been for everybody, and also thinking about not only the patients they've lost, 449 at this particular hospice, but also the families they've left behind and the children involved in that as well. And I'm joined now by Julie, who is a young person's counsellor, aren't you, Julie?
Yes.
When you were standing and reflecting then, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, it's really just the tremendous emotional impact that the pandemic has had on the children and young people over the last 12 months and their families, especially. It's been difficult for all children, but especially for children who have lost a parent, a grandparent or a significant person.
Because ordinarily this place wouldn't be that quiet, would it? You would have perhaps children scootering around on bicycles, here to see perhaps a parent or a loved one who is at the end of their life. So how different is this place at the moment?
Yes, that's right. The hospice has been a very different place for the last 12 months. We've had to restrict the amount of visitors that can come into the hospice. So that includes children accessing our counselling service and normal children visiting. So it has had an impact on the staff here. We rely heavily on the buzz of the atmosphere. Our volunteers haven't been allowed to come in either, which has been a huge loss to the service as well.
And how have the children that you've counselled this year coped in this extraordinary situation?
How have they coped? Sorry. We've had different scenarios. Children have their own unique way of dealing with grief. Some children have really struggled with lockdown, especially when there's been a death in the family. They haven't had that extra support from extended family or their friendships or school, and they've really struggled with that. Whereas we have had children who have actually really excelled during lockdown because they've had the protection and security of their immediate family, and that's actually really been helpful for them.
And the idea of this day of reflection is that perhaps it will become an annual day, particularly important, I guess, that for children.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, one of the key things, the key work we do with children is memory making. So to be able to remember their loved one on an ongoing basis is really healthy and a really therapeutic thing for children to have.
Okay, thank you for joining us, Julie. And you'll see that Julie has the yellow daffodil of the Marie Curie charity, as all the staff were wearing earlier. A symbol of hope for the future. That's also something uppermost in the staff's mind here. Hope for the future. And also looking ahead to this evening, where there will be a further period of reflection at 8 o'clock this evening, where it's hoped that people will come out onto their doorsteps and perhaps light a candle or shine a torch to light up the night sky as we reflect on what an extraordinary year it has been for everybody.